Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with the January transfer move to Arsenal. Now, Unai Emery, yesterday in his press conference ahead of the game against Manchester United, talking about the fact that the players have been bonding this week. They actually went out on a little paintballing mission. They all went out and were doing some paintballing, and he was joking and saying how some of the players were firing shots at him. I don't know, I bet you any money Ozil got some sneaky little shots in there and tried to hit the manager. No, it's all seriously good to see that the team bonding there ahead of that big game against Manchester United, a really important game in the FA Cup. Wouldn't normally be that important playing at home if it was against a sort of lower team, but against Manchester United, it's a huge game. And even though we've got a game during the week, next week in the Premier League, I do think that Arsenal are going to go with a pretty strong team for that game. He also spoke about the need for getting players in January. He said out that, you know, they're still working on getting people in. Looking at, you know, he said he even spoke about the defenders and saying that they need defensive cover. So it does look like they're still working on a couple of signings. However, nothing yet has happened. It's been very strange to me that they haven't got anything done yet. Because I always look at it and say to myself, January transfer window, January, February, March, April, May. You know, you've got to get that player in early, surely, to get the best out of him, you know, if you're going to have him from now till the end of the season, especially if it's a loan deal. But we know that loan deals are not easy to do. Now, also linked today with a player who I really, really rate highly, Nainggolan. He plays for Inter Milan now. I'm sure you guys will all remember this guy from the World Cup in Belgium. He's one of their main players. He also used to play for Roma, and for years a very, very top player. He's 30 now, but still a very, very talented midfielder indeed. He's one of these players where he's very strong on the ball, can break up play, but also very good going forward as well. A very skillful player, very strong player, and a very, very top midfielder. Now, Inter Milan bought him for 38 million euros from Roma only a year ago. But since he signed for Inter, he's had a lot of problems. Most of those problems have been off-field problems, and he was suspended by the club in late December. Now, there's lots of rumours about him having gambling debts and different problems off the field. He's apparently missed like numerous training sessions, which was the thing that apparently led to him being suspended. And Inter Milan have had enough, and they're willing to let him go out on loan from now till the end of the season, because obviously they're paying him a high wage. And they've offered him to Arsenal, they've offered him to Tottenham, they've offered him to a few clubs over in the Premier League. And Arsenal said to be interested in making this happen. This rumour, of course, coming out of Italy. Italy, not always the most reliable of places when it comes to people talking about transfers. But it does look like Inter Milan would be willing to let Nainggolan go out on loan. As I said, a very, very good player, but it would worry you when you hear all these things about gambling debts and problems off the field. We know on the field he's a very talented player, but hearing about all these problems off the field is not good. I think he had problems when he was with Belgium as well. So do Arsenal really want to take on these problems from now till the end of the season? Or is he a player that Emery would be able to get back on track? We know Emery's a disciplinarian. I don't know. We'd have to wait and see how this one develops. And then also, there's a bit of a twist to this story in that there's also rumours coming out that maybe Inter Milan might be willing to take Ozil on loan. You know, that they're looking at Mesut Ozil and they're saying, well, you know, maybe do some sort of deal where Nainggolan goes one way, Ozil goes the other way. We'll take Ozil on loan till the end of the season. Who knows? I mean, it's a bit of a well, not exactly a triangle, but a bit of a merry-go-round here. A possible merry-go-round. Whether it happens or not, I don't know. But certainly, Nainggolan is quality. But do we want to bring those problems to the Emirates from now till the end of the season? I'm not sure about this one, especially, as I said, with Emery being a bit of a disciplinarian. Now, what about the Denis Suarez situation? The on-off deal between Arsenal and Barcelona. I nearly said Sevilla there. The reason why I wasn't nearly said Sevilla is because Sevilla beat Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, surprise victory in the Copa del Rey. And in that game, Denis Suarez was left out of the squad completely, and he's been playing in those games. He's been playing in those Copa del Rey games. Now, the rumour is still going both ways. There is one set of rumours that says that Denis Suarez is not going to be sold. It's decided that he's going to stay till the end of the season, doesn't want to sign an extension with Barcelona. There's another rumour that's saying that Barcelona are trying to force him out. They want him out of the club. They want him to leave. That's why they're leaving him out. They want, him gone, really. They want to sell him, and they've offered him to some other clubs apart from Arsenal. But Denis Suarez, the only club he'd be interested in going to would be Arsenal. And Barca are not keen to deal with Arsenal, as Arsenal don't want to accept that permanent option at the end of the deal. Who knows what's going to happen to with this one? I really do think it's going to run down to the wire of next week, Thursday, the 31st of January, when the window shuts at 11 o'clock. I think this one could run right down to deadline day, but let's see how that one develops. But at the moment, Suarez still a Barcelona player for now. Whether it's for now until the end of the season or just for now until the end of next week, we will find out very, very shortly over the next few days. Arsenal linked today with a centre-back, which I'm glad of. I was glad to hear Unai Emery talking about defensive positions yesterday. They're linked to the Algerian international A.f.c. Mendy, who plays for Real Betis. He's 27, versatile centre-back. He's had 25 caps for Algeria. And there's a lot of reports coming out that Unai Emery has told the board that they should try and sign this guy. He knows him from his time over there in Spain. He knows about his abilities, and he thinks he would be just what Arsenal need. He's said to have a £26 million buyout clause. Now, again, we know that the rumours being that Arsenal are only going to be dealing with loans this season, or should I say this January transfer window. So £26 million release clause. Are Arsenal going to go in and do that? That doesn't look likely at the moment. Could they get him on a loan with an option to buy at the end? I don't know. He's been playing pretty well for Real Betis. They won't want to let go of him in January. This is the problem, as we know, in January. So again, let's see how that one develops. But apparently Arsenal and Unai Emery in particular, a big fan of this player. And then there's Mehdi Benatia being linked again with Arsenal. Of course, the Juventus defender, centre-back, 31 now, but a very experienced centre-back, a very good centre-back. I think his style would suit the Premier League down to the ground in what I've seen of him over the years. I do worry a bit after seeing Lichtsteiner, though, come in from Juventus as an aging player and see how off the pace he's been in the Premier League. But Arsenal being linked with him again today. Fulham also linked with him as well. About the only team in the Premier League who's got a defence as worse than us, right? But they're interested in him as well. They're said to be looking to, according to some of the papers, hijack the deal. I don't know how they're going to hijack a deal that's not been done yet. But both of them interested in taking Mehdi Benatia on loan. And that's why you never know with that deal, because he could be available to go out for the rest of the season on loan. And that might be attractive to Arsenal, just to offer that defensive cover from now till the end of the season. So let's see how that one develops. And today Arsenal linked with a player that's been described as the new Lucas Torreira. That's where I love these new Lucas Torreiras, or the new Messi, or the new... I mean, all right, I understand it when you're talking about players like the Messi, or the new Ronaldo, or the new Neymar, or the new, established players. I mean, Torreira's only just arrived on the scene. He's a great player. But to say this guy's the new Torreira, and Torreira's only just been here, he's only just starting to establish himself as a top player, really made me laugh. But we've been linked with the new Torreira. His name is Nicolas Acevedo. He's 19 and he's a defensive midfielder. He plays for a team called Liverpool. Not the Liverpool from up there in northwest England, but a Liverpool that's based in Montevideo over there in Uruguay. He's been scouted heavily by Arsenal. Apparently he plays for Uruguay under 20s, and apparently he plays in a very Similar style as Lucas Torreira. He's a defensive midfielder, a destroyer in the middle of the park, and he's been impressing the Arsenal scouts, and they may make a move for him, probably more a move for him down in the summer. Wouldn't be a great deal of money to prize him away from out of Uruguay, but as I said, been described as the new Lucas Torreira. Makes a great story, don't it? Whether it happens or not, that's another matter. Listen, big game tomorrow. Arsenal taking on Manchester United. That's a huge game. Mate, don't forget to check out all of our previews. We done some great previews linking up with United, Stan, Mark Goldbridge, Flex. So make sure you check out that. They're feeling proper confident, the Manchester United fans. You know, I think, you know, they've been on this great run. I just got the impression in speaking to those guys that they think they're going to come to the Emirates and steamroll Arsenal. I think they're forgetting that we've only lost one game at home this season, and that was the first game of the season against Manchester City that were already up to speed. I don't think they're going to come and steamroll anybody. I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a result in that game if we play our strongest team. But I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow. And also don't forget, tomorrow night, it's back on Channel 4, my brand new show, The Real Football Fan Show. We're back for our third series, so thanks to everybody who's been supporting that show. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Ian Wright in the studio and Tamer Hassan as well. It's a great show, so make sure you check it out. The Arsenal legend Ian Wright live in the studio for that show. Thanks for watching the show today, and we will be back tomorrow.